These memories will stay with me.
So I decided that I wanted to vlog on our trip when I'm not a vlogger. I'm not a big talker on video. I like to video the stuff around me, but I don't really like to see myself on screen or talk on screen because it makes me feel weird. But I decided I wanted to vlog it because it's too cool not to, and I also want to update people back home and people who I don't necessarily get to talk to all the time, and also tell people who have no idea what I'm doing and why I'm on the other side of the country. So I'm gonna give this a shot, and hopefully people enjoy watching it because I've enjoyed going on the trip. I've been across America this is my third time, so 3 times now, and I've done it differently each time. But the reason why I'm doing it this time is because about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, my boyfriend and I started talking seriously about him having a career change because he does physical therapy and you can travel for that job. So we were both super comfortable where we were. We had a great apartment, super close to work for both of us. But the more we talked about it and the more we looked into travel for his career, it seemed like a why not. So we decided to go for it. I was a teacher for 4 years. I taught high school, and I quit my job in February. So we went to Indonesia for a wedding right at the end of January, and we talked seriously this entire school year from August to probably around Christmas is when we solidified our idea. I had to tell my principal, you have to quit teaching kind of middle of the year if you're going to do it the right way, so that they can start looking for more people to fill the position. So I decided when I got back from Indonesia, I was going to tell my principal. So nobody knew except for our families that we were highly considering this. But we got back and I told everyone at work that I was going on an adventure. And when people would ask me where I was going, my answer would be on an adventure, because I really didn't know where we were going first. And we didn't decide where we were going first until maybe 4 weeks before it was time to go. So the school year was wrapping up, and I knew that we would be out of our apartment at the end of June. So the school year wraps up at the beginning of June, and that's right whenever I figured out we were going to move to Washington State for our first 3-month rotation. And it could be 3 months, it could be longer than 3 months, depending on if we decide to renew or if he's needed where he's at. And it's pretty much totally up to him if we stay, and me, if we stay or if we move. So we're gonna try places out, and we're gonna travel the country together. The plan is for 2 years, because I'm near the end of my 20s and he's in his early 30s. So we feel like 2 years from now we'll want to have kids and settle down and buy a house. And we wanted to see the country together before that. So we started our little journey in Georgia near Savannah. And then we went up through Tennessee, Kentucky, and I think we stayed in Iowa. I'm going to include videos throughout this video of where we were. But right now I'm driving through Montana, and I feel like we've been on a trip for a month, which is crazy. So it's hard for me to remember everything in chronological order, but I'm pretty sure we stayed in Iowa, we stayed in St. Louis, then we stayed right outside of Omaha, and we went through South Dakota. I wanted to see Mount Rushmore, and South Dakota was stunning. I'm really, really glad we did it. I've never been before. I wanted to see Badlands National Park, and none of that disappointed us. We loved getting to see the prairie dogs, and the word's not coming to my mind. All I can think of are bison. I don't think it was bison. Anyway, And then we kept going. We went through Wyoming. We actually went through Wyoming in one day so that we could get to Billings, Montana. We stayed in Billings, and then after that night, we got up the next morning and went straight for Glacier, which was the part of the trip that I was most excited for and probably the most nervous for, because we were going to be going from staying in hotels to camping in a tent. And I was just hoping that it would be comfortable temperature-wise, because where we're from in Georgia, it's really hot and buggy. But in Montana, it was perfect. We had the best time, and I think that we'll remember it forever. We put up the tent. I was nervous because we got to the campsite after the sun had gone down, and I was just worried because in my head I was picturing us having to like connect poles, how you put tents together. But our tent was so easy. My boyfriend set it up in 3 minutes. We got to the site, we parked, we had the tent up ready to go. Setup took 10 minutes, and it was super easy to do in the dark. So we got lucky with that. He did a good job. And we got up the next morning and went for Glacier National Park, and where I chose to camp was really close to the west entrance. So we got up, did about a 5-minute drive to the west entrance of Glacier. We stopped so he could fish at Lake McDonald, and that was our first glimpse of the park, and that was already stunning. So we knew that the rest of the day was going to be wonderful, and it exceeded our expectations. There's parts of the trip where I said wow every time we turned a corner. We went through snow and rain, and there wasn't snow actually falling, but there was snow on the ground. And it started pouring rain when we got to Logan's Pass, and it was freezing. It was a North Georgia winter weather in comparison to where we're from. We're not used to being cold in July, so it was very different, but it was amazing. I don't even know how to put it into words, so I'm gonna include a bunch of videos and pictures. We stopped several times so he could fish, and the pebbles in the water's so clear. The pebbles are all different colors. It's everything. If you've looked into Glacier National Park, it's everything that you think it'll be and more. It's just something you have to see with your own eyes. And then I knew, because my boyfriend's sister told us to try huckleberry things in Montana, I knew I had my eyes out for something huckleberry, but I didn't know what. And they ended up having huckleberry ice cream in East Glacier. So we got to St. Mary's after we did go into the Sun Road, all the way across, going to the Sun Road. We stopped, and I wanted huckleberry ice cream, so we got some. And it was really good. I really like blueberry ice cream, and it was very similar. It was a cool experience. And then after huckleberry ice cream, we decided we were gonna go try Two Medicine Lake so that my boyfriend could fish there. And it was getting towards the end of the day at that point. But the crazy part about staying in Montana that I was not expecting was the sun starts going down at like 9:40, and it's still daylight enough outside until about 11 p.m. Which I did a lot of research before we went, but I was not expecting that. Just was crazy to both of us. Bugs didn't bother us, heat didn't bother us. We camped comfortably in the tent with a tiny fan. We actually had to turn the tiny fan off in the middle of the night because we were so cold, but not freezing. We were just comfortable. I'm trying to think. So we ended our day in Glacier at Two Medicine Lake. After that, we just headed around the south border of the national park back to our campsite, because we camped 2 nights in West Glacier. And to be honest, I was hoping we'd get to see a lot of stuff in that one day that we had planned there, and we really, really did. I felt like we had a nice full day, and we definitely want to go back for longer, but we saw what we needed to see. And then today we got our campsite by 11, and we're headed towards Spokane, Washington this 4th of July. So I looked it up, and there are firework displays in Spokane, and we have a nice hotel there tonight. And then tomorrow morning we will head towards the spot in Washington that we'll be living in for the next 3-ish months, which is crazy, but we're really, really excited. I feel like I've made the right choice for this time in my life. I can see myself going back to teaching, because that 4 years that I started with proved to me that I can do it. It's a hard job. I think any teacher will tell you it's not easy, but I really love making connections with people in the school, both people who I worked with and the kids the kids who made it worth it. And I'm hoping to make other videos about teaching and other videos about maybe sort of day in the life or videos about our future trips, because this is not the only trip we'll take in the next 2 years. We're going to take several. So yeah, I just wanted to do an update, and I don't know if I'll make all my videos like this. This is just kind of my first little try. I kind of want, if I do have a channel, if I do choose to make long form videos, I want it to feel like I'm talking to my friends, and I want my people who watch the video to feel like I'm just updating them. So I want it to be really casual and truthful, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited all the way around. I'm excited to make videos. I'm excited to travel with the love of my life, and excited to see new places. So yeah, thanks for coming along this journey with me. This was only a few of the hundreds of prairie dogs that we saw while we drove through Badlands National Park in South Dakota. And here's a very zoomed in picture of the bison. We kept our distance. This was our first fishing stop on the trip, and this was at New Wall Lake near where we stayed in Wall, South Dakota. It was only about 10 minutes from our hotel. This takes you on a quick drive through the town of Wall, South Dakota. The day that we woke up to explore Wall and go to Badlands National Park, we had breakfast at Wake and Bacon, which was right next to this giant sculpture of a jackalope made out of wood, and it was large enough for people to actually open a door and go inside. Right up here on the right is where we stayed the night at Hanson Inn Cabins, which is only 2 blocks from Wall Drug. So we were able to get up the next day, walk past Wall Drug, go get some breakfast, and circle back to get our cars. This was our second fishing stop in South Dakota at Custer State Park. This was our cabin at Holy Smoke Resort, which we really enjoyed and wished we could have stayed a second night. At this point of the trip, we're heading into Montana, and this was one of the most beautiful highways I've ever driven on. The speed limit is 80 miles per hour. To the left is Flathead Lake in Montana. This is whenever we were headed towards West Glacier to camp.
She's moving on.
The next several videos are all from Glacier National Park. There's so many differences in the scenery that I couldn't just choose a couple of videos, I had to include several. This was an inside look at the Montvale Hotel that we stayed in Spokane, Washington, and I didn't know that Bing Crosby was born and raised in Spokane. And this was a cute coffee stop that we made on our way into Washington, and that just about wraps up our trip. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed the journey and making it. See you next time.